Hey YouTube, Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard Record of Ragnarok Brunhilde deck profile for August 2022. This is the last of the decks from the Record of Ragnarok Title Booster series. This deck focuses on using Brunhilde as the main go-to Vanguard while using the additional humans as backup in the deck. It's a really interesting deck that focuses on mankind as a whole, it's more of like Brunhilde being the tactician master that she is for humanity's side, and then just commanding all the other humans underneath her to fight against the god decks. It's a really awesome deck. Definitely do consider it if you're uncertain on what deck you want to build. It seems more of a generic type of deck from the set as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, our starter is still Brunhilde when rode upon. If you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is actually different from the humanity cards. It is the choice for victory, Brunhilde. When this unit is placed by riding on Brunhilde, Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of your deck, and draw a card. So either you can reveal a non-trigger card and have that draw off of this card, or even just set up another trigger on the bottom of the deck so you don't have to draw into it for that play. Very, very useful for that setup, with our grade 2 being Watching for an Opportunity, Brunhilde. When it's placed by riding on the choice for victory, Brunhilde, reveal the top card of your deck, and if that grade 2 or less normal unit card is man or Valkyrie, call it to rear. If not, put it on the top of your deck or into your soul. So more setup for cards in the field, so good for the rush that you do with a good number of mankind cards that we run in the deck, with our grade 3 being the Unwavering Determination, Brunhilde, the main go-to grade 3 along with the copy we are running in the ride deck. I'm also running 3 additional copies in the actual main deck. With this card, once per turn on Vanguard, you can discard a grade 3 or greater unit with Brunhilde and its card name from your hand, and this unit gets on your Vanguard all your man and Valkyrie. You get plus 5,000 till end of turn. That pressure alone is very, very good just for the boosted units. If you Persona Ride, that's just an additional plus as well. And on Vanguard, when this unit attacks, counter blast 1, choose a man or Valkyrie from your drop zone, call it to rear, and it gets plus 5,000 till end of turn. So just another way for you to get more than 3 attacks in one turn with that man or Valkyrie that you call. You can even call another Brunhilde from your drop zone, since she is a Valkyrie herself, for those multiple attacks. On top of her own skill for the plus 5, giving that plus 5 to the other unit you call, and having it be at plus 10,000 power by itself before even the Persona Ride or a boost, just adds immense pressure to any of your opponent's guards that they'll try to do against this deck. And then for the other grade 3, I also run 4 copies of Man's Survival at Stake, Brunhilde. Now, the reason I run this card as well as backup is so you have the grade 3 discard for your Brunhilde. You want to save these copies for the Persona Ride, so you want to use mostly these ones as more of a discard cost for Brunhilde, and then just another card to call back onto the field. So it helps with that play to have it as just more of a fodder. You really won't ever place it on the Vanguard. There's always the option to with this card, but it's more also just a potential card for the discard, and then also just being able to, when placed on Vanguard, you Soul Blast the additional Brunhildes that you may use for this card to look at the top cards of your deck and choose a Valkyrie each from among them, or a man, and call them to rear. As more of a late game setup if need be, if you don't have the rear guards, it could potentially be ridden on top of this card, but like I say, it's mostly in the deck for the discard cost. Moving on now to the grade 2s, I run 4 of the most badass and maniacal warrior, Lubu. With this card, when it's placed on rear from hand, if your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is Lubu or a Valkyrie, counter blast 1, and you and your opponent reveal the top card of your deck and call it to an open rear, your opponent card's abilities do not activate from this card. And during the battle of this unit attack, if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 5,000. So on top of the plus 5,000 powers that Brunhilde provides to Lubu, you can put this unit at 25,000 alone without even a Persona Ride, if you call it off of Brunhilde back onto the field, and then the plus 5 from its own skill, and also just giving you the additional call of a rear guard to the field thanks to a counter blast. I also run 4 copies of the man with the greatest heart, Adam. When this unit attacks, if your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is Adam or a Valkyrie, it gets plus 5,000. So once again, another plus unit. And if your Vanguard is man or Valkyrie, your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. It cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. It's just a good way to stay safe against some of your opponent's cards. So I like to run 4 of this as an added backup, with the last of the grade 2s being 4 copies of Unrivaled Kojiro Sasaki. It comes up the least, I would say, for the Soul Blast 3 to draw. It does come up sometimes when you don't use your grade 1 Brunhilde, just being able to give you a draw and potential bind of one of your opponent's other cards, but it helps mostly for just being an additional Mankind unit to call onto the rear guard also. And that is it for the grade 2s. The whole grade 2 lineup is fully the Mankind cards that Brunhilde will make full use of on the field. For the grade 1s, I am running 3 copies of Revolt Against the Gods, Brunhilde, being a searcher for a Mankind card. So you can either add Kojiro, Lubu, or Adam with this card. I thought of running a 4th copy of this card, but I was tilting back and forth between this card and my next grade 1 option. But if you want to run a 4th copy, you could always just take out the next copy of what I'm running at 4 of in the deck for another copy. You can't run this card really too well in the ride deck either, like the Mankind decks, because you do want to run the Choice for Victory Brunhilde, so you have the grade 2 resolve as well. The next grade 1 that I run is 4 copies of Apprentice Valkyrie Gull. I really do like Gull in this deck just for the Brunhilde grade 1s you have to call out, but you also have the entire ride deck if you Soul Blast, and all the grade 3 Brunhildes that we run as potential cards to call out onto the field with your Gull. And when this unit boosts a unit with Brunhilde and its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000, just adding more to the own power that Brunhilde can give to her thanks to her own skill, and then the additional plus 5,000 from herself, making this an 18k boost whenever you boost a Brunhilde on the field. And then the last of the grade 1s that I run in the deck is 4 copies of Youngest Valkyrie Sister Gull, the Sentinel of Choice, just being able to discard and then have the additional card to keep in your hand. So if you block the 1 attack against your opponent, you at least have that 1 additional Gull in your hand to use and save for the next potential big attack your opponent could use against you. And then as for the trigger lineup, I thought of running Rainbow in the deck, but decided to stick with just the additional pressure of 8 criticals. So 4 much awaited encounter and 4 the strongest by nature. You have all of these options for your play, being able to give that pressure to any unit you may have on the field, especially with the restand power that Brunhilde can provide. It made me contemplate front triggers, but I still just wanted to stick to the critical lineup. If you wanted, you can also potentially mix and match the draw triggers. I'm running 3 of this card with front triggers, just so you have the multiple attacks once again that the Vanguard can do. But still, hand consistency and just being able to get those other grade 3 Brunhildes into your hand is also very important. With the last of the trigger lineup just being 4 of the Adoring Gaze heal trigger for Mankind, so definitely needed there. And lastly, my over trigger is Ragnarok. I thought of using the one from the trial deck, but the restand all comes down to a very nice touch as well, because even with the 1 rear guard, if you just attack with the 1 soul unit, if you still have the over trigger in your deck, you could potentially attack with the entire column, use Brunhilde to call another new unit from the drop zone to the field, and then get the over trigger to at least be able to restand that other boosted rear guard to help with that other attack with this card, not missing out on the skill from the over trigger. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. Like I said, this is the final deck for the Title Booster Record of Ragnarok series, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.